Good day, podcast community. PeteKane here, Podcast Pete, and certified high performance coach. Okay, this is for my seniors. This is for people in general that struggle with technology. There's about half the population. So maybe you're not in this category, but if you are, you know somebody. So I've known Chet for quite a while, and I've always been impressed by the way he handles himself, by his knowledge, his love for seniors, and he is helping our seniors understand technology. So, Chet, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and then we'll get into our podcast.
All right, thanks again, Pete. It's a pleasure to be back on your platform. Well, my name is Chet Beasley. I'm the CEO of Bridging Technologies ATL. We're a technology consulting firm, and our mission is to bridge the technology gap in our underserved communities through awareness, education, and practical application of our digital literacy program. We have over 30 classes that we teach. Everything from as simple as creating a Gmail, because your Gmail is like your digital driver's license. You need that. You have to have one of those before you do anything on the internet. To ordering groceries online, to what are VPNs, the intro to AI, and it goes on and on. And so we add at least one class per quarter, because technology is fluid. it's
Yes,
always it's always moving and grooving, so we have to keep up with the time. So I did 20 years in law enforcement, and I served my community in that way, but now this is how I serve my community now.
I love it. I love it. We were talking, I was in Costco and we were chatting the last week, and we were talking about your app that you're unveiling. What tell our viewers, like, what do you hope to accomplish with having a tool like that?
Well, my goal is to be everywhere at once, and that's what I kind of struggled with. I teach over 100 seniors per week, every week, and a few things that I noticed that, for one, they will always need a reference to go back to some things that I taught them. And they say, Chet, it was great in class. I was able to follow you, but when I got home, it kind of got lost in translation on how to recreate some of those things we did in class. And so, and technology is one of those things. Well, just teaching, period. One of those things everybody teaches differently, and everybody is not always able to convey their messages uh, appropriately. And so I didn't want that to happen with my seniors for the population that I serve. So I said, well, how? Because what I teach and what the next person would teach, even though they have the same curriculum, it may not go over the same way. So I said,
Hmm.
well, how? So how could I be everywhere at once? And so it was creating the app. So it's in development. Right now we have a free version. The beta version's out, and
Hmm.
that's free to the public. And then late December or early January 2026 is when the official version will come out, and it's called Talk Tech with Chat.
Whoa, I love it. I love it. I used to, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, I used to teach Evernote to seniors. And I
Mhm.
noticed, like, it was very difficult because I had mixed classes and everybody works at their own pace. Why did you want to serve the seniors with something as important as technology? Because it's harder than teaching like people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Well, well, Pete, I just that's one of the populations that really needed my help. What how I first even got into this aspect of senior helping the seniors. Um, I well, let me give you a little quick backstory. I did 20 years in law enforcement. Back in 2018, I was had my fill of it. Didn't know what I wanted to do next, and
Mhm.
so I became a public adjuster, did that for a couple of years with property and casualty insurance. And then I got into the Medicare insurance. So my first year being a Medicare broker, serving the seniors, um, I didn't realize that there was a blackout period my first year. And so it actually was, it's funny, it's during this time right now that we're in during AEP. And
Mhm.
so I had to supplement my income, and so I didn't quite know how I was going to do it. And then a few years ago, when the Affordable Connectivity Program was available, they were able, seniors were able to get tablets with their own built-in Wi-Fi. So I said,
Mhm.
hey, this will be great for my seniors. And so the seniors that I served, so got that, got it to them, and they said, hey, Chet, thanks for the tablet. Now, how do I use it? And I said, wow, I never thought of that. And so I
I
had to get to work. And so it was I created 4 classes. The first 4 classes were creating a Gmail, um, creating a social security online profile so you can you don't have to go to your brick and mortar anymore.
Uh-huh.
Um, ordering groceries online and WhatsApp. Those are the first 4. Now we have over 30 that we
Wow.
teach, 30 classes that we teach.
I love that. That is so. And I lived at a senior facility, so I laugh when you said like, "Thanks for the tablet," but hey, now how do I use it? That
That's
that
exactly.
is like that's so so point on because technology. We get these devices and they just like figure it out, like find
Exactly.
your grandson to help you with or your granddaughter. But it takes a special pace and I think style to really help people that didn't grow up with it. And I'm
Right.
in that category. I had to like slow down to speed up was would because they would always like when when the kids would teach me they're going so fast I can't keep up and
Right.
it's like oh ho put the brakes on, let's go back to B and they're on Z, it's
Right.
like
Right.
so tell me like as you're teaching your seniors what kind of
Mhm.
tell me the joy. I'm always curious because there's a special kind of I think fulfillment that we get. To tell our audience, like, what do you enjoy about helping seniors in this technology kind of divide?
Well, honestly, Pete, as cliche as this may sound, this is the greatest thing I've ever done. They say if
Hmm.
you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Um, and so I didn't realize that I was going to get such joy out of doing this, out of serving my seniors. But one of the greatest things I remember, one of my senior students, Miss Marva, she said one day she said she just started laughing in class. She says, "Oh my God, this is so fun! I'm learning." And then that just really touched my heart. And when I leave, if I'm not leaving on a natural high, I say, you know what, I didn't do a great job today.
Hmm.
Because I feel elated when I leave because I say, hey, I gave them my all, and then they received it all, and they're able to um, and it's a need because there's so much that's coming out at seniors, not just seniors, but everybody at 100 miles an hour these days. And so that population, sometimes seniors are forgotten. And so being in the space, in the Medicare space, I was already working with them. And so I get to touch them in this way that um, many people can't.
Hmm.
And I just been blessed. I actually get it honestly. My mother was a teacher for 32 years for Atlanta Public Schools. My
Hmm.
sisters are teachers, and my mother still homeschools my niece to this day. So I get it. I get it honestly. So I'm been blessed to be able to have the talent to be able to teach because I believe that if you're a teacher, that you can teach anything. It's not just one subject. I think that it's all about the teacher themselves. They're the conduit. So whatever that is, I'm able to uh get it, and I'm able to digest it and then spew it back out where the seniors are able to understand how how I teach. So it's a blessing. They receive it. I just finished teaching a class at 2 o'clock today, and
Mhm.
they loved it, and we all got something out of it. I get as much out of it as they do.
Yeah. I was we before we got on, I was telling you about Del Mar Gardens, and I do the four human drivers of aliveness.
Hmm.
And when we challenge ourselves and we learn, we come alive. And we they love to learn, but they have to learn at their pace,
Right.
which you can't drink from a fire hose. It just doesn't work. A lot of
That's true.
people want to teach them like they're drinking from a fire hose, but you have to be methodical. Yes, you're right about the teacher. The teacher has to understand who the student is, how they learn, the speed that they learn, what they need to learn to really catch on. But when they do, that second one, well, connection is one of them,
Hmm.
meaningful purpose. We die 2 years after we retire if we don't go into that connection, meaningful purpose, and personal growth. And I can see them being excited, like you're talking about, because they're growing, they're learning.
Right.
And one of the things I saw is when people they they stop growing, and technology is very delicate. It has to be spoon fed to the people that didn't grow up with it.
It's
So
true.
tell me, like, so you have your four courses. Now you're growing. Like, what does 2026 look like? I mean, when this app comes out, holy mackerel! You're talking about them being able to access chat on their phone whenever they need them or whenever they need you. So, kind of let's talk about 26 and with the app coming out. What do you hope to see with are you going to provide them that this is a tool that they because the seniors have the resources. So, will they pay like a monthly or will they pay how will they be able to access this valuable app?
Okay, so the app is a very, very nominal fee. It's for
Mhm.
$9.99 a month subscription.
Mhm.
It'll be reoccurring every month. My
Mhm.
What I would hope with that is that their children will pay for it. Will pay
Mhm.
for mom and dads or grandma, and grandpas or aunts or uncles. They will pay for their subscriptions, but
Sure.
there'll be 30 classes. We'll be building up to those 30 classes, but it'll
Mhm.
initially start with 12 classes, and we'll be adding classes as we go. But the seniors will also get access to me. We'll be having office hours on
Mhm.
Fridays from I had to figure out the time, but I think it's going to do it like from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We'll
Mhm.
also have those who subscribe, they'll get the push button notifications for live classes that we'll have. So let's just say, for example, on uh, Thursday at 3 p.m. from 3 to 4:30, Chad will be going live on the top six AI scams on seniors. And
Mhm.
they'll be able to come in and join the class and ask questions. Um, so there is just more than just courses. We're building
Yeah.
community too.
Yeah, I think when you said like the kids and the grandkids certainly I think would love to help mom and dad and their grandparents with a tool like this because if you can spend more quality time with your grandma or grandpa and not have to spend all the time helping them get up to speed on Gmail and WhatsApp and ordering groceries, the time they spend with them will be higher quality time because they'll be able to learn when they want to learn. It could be 10 o'clock at night. It could be
Right.
6 o'clock in the morning. It'll be on their time. Now their kids can really have a deeper relationship connection
Right.
with their parents, with their grandparents. I mean, with their grandparents. So I think that is so good that we provide that bridge of, I call it like the maze of technology. It's a crazy thing out there because it
It
never
is.
ends. It keeps going. And if you say, "Well, I'm not gonna learn this stuff," you can't put your head in the sand because
Can't.
it's going to get faster and faster and faster. And if we don't try to keep up by having a tool, then you're going to all of a sudden wake up and you're not going to have the connection with people because you're right. Ordering groceries. Do you want to go out in the car at 10 o'clock at night and get your groceries when you could just push a button on Instacart and get your groceries? I mean, that's the
Right.
greatest thing for seniors who have trouble sometimes driving and they want to have
Absolutely.
the convenience of have stuff come to their doorstep. So tell me, like, I had a friend just well, let's see, Monday, and so he's in a business and he was looking. He said, "Do you know anybody that develops apps?" And I have a person that I know. But tell me, like, when you were thinking of the idea, what was that process like? Did you have to? How did you find somebody to build this app for you?
A great question, Pete. So about maybe 2 years ago, I thought of like an app, you know, that ideal of an app came, and a friend of mine that's really, really deep into the tech world, I asked him how much would a good app cost, and he said, "Hey, man, this is very expensive. It's like between like 70. This was a couple of years ago, maybe even more expensive now, but between like 75 and 100 grand." And
Mhm.
so I was like, okay. Now my pocketbook wasn't set up like that, so I had to figure it out. And so every year, I've leveled up. You know, I started with one nonprofit that paid for a couple of classes I was teaching. Then the next year, partnered with Centerwell, and they gave
Mhm.
me they paid for more classes, and then I got more exposure. And so every year I said, how can I keep leveling up? So this year, 2025, I said, I was doing my research because I knew that I wanted to be everywhere at once. And so I
Mhm.
said an app would be the best way to do that. And so I did my research, and then I had a conversation with that same friend that told me about the app a couple of years ago. And so I said, hey Jonathan, what what's the best what's the best way to do online courses out there? Like, what's the best platform? And so he gave me his opinion, and then I said, well, what do you think about Kajabi? So he said, oh, well, that's the best one. And I said, okay. And then I kept looking into it, and Kajabi has a branded app portion of it as well. And so
Mm.
I think this is best of both worlds in that I don't have to pay a different developer. It's the
Mhm.
same developer, and they Kajabi runs the cybersecurity, everything on everything is it's a one stop shop. So
Mhm.
all I have to do is create the courses, and then they take care of the app. So long story short, um, once I'm finished, once Talk Tech with Chet comes out, it'll be in the App Store, in the Play Store, and it'll be available in 175 countries.
Wow, I love that. No, I'm very familiar with Kajabi. I was certified by Brendan Bouchard, who way back when Kajabi was just kind of getting its legs, he
Right.
was a partner and he was a major contributor and and now I think it's 2 billion or 3 billion. It's a huge company and it is simple and easy. My partners up in Canada, and he uses like a Canadian version of Kajabi because I everybody says, "Well, you use Kajabi." I said, "No, but I'm too deep into Simplero, which is a Canadian company." But yeah, I think that having a company like Kajabi, who they know apps are a challenge, 75, 90,000. Not everybody can come out of pocket for that kind of money, but within their platform, they can create that same experience and
Yeah.
allow people to be able to enjoy, the app experience because everybody loves apps. We have our phone. We always are connected to our phone. So having
Mhm.
something we can access from our phone is a great option. So what do you think? Like 26 is right around the corner.
Mhm.
So what's Chet most excited about in 2026?
Uh, it's actually getting this app out. And let me choose my words wisely because it's
Mhm.
power in the tongue, and I believe by manifesting. All right,
I do too.
all right. So my goal for 2026 is to I want to I want to teach in arenas. If I have to teach, I don't want to do classrooms. I want to do arenas. Um,
I love it. I love it.
I My goal is to change the world, Pete. When it comes to for these seniors in technology, I once
Mhm.
had somebody ask me, and it kind of made me think, and then I laughed. They said, "Well, how are you going to teach seniors technology? Well, how are you going to create an app when seniors don't even know how to use technology at all?" I said, "Well, how do you eat 1,000-pound cookie one bite at a time, right?" So
Exactly.
it's all about steps. I'm not throwing anything in their lap that's they have to figure it out. Only thing they have
Mm,
to do is hit start, and they can
yes.
figure it out from there. But 26 looks like I'm very excited about in April. The American Society of Aging will have their annual meeting here in Atlanta,
Hmm.
and I've met a young lady, and she found out what I do. I actually met a couple of weeks ago, and
Hmm.
she wants me to speak at the conference and tell
Mm,
everybody about the app. And so I just think it's a wonderful opportunity in that uh the nation will be in Atlanta instead of I'm having to go to everybody's coming here. So
mhm.
that'll be a great opportunity for those who if you don't know, you don't know. Lots of times it's hard getting the marketing aspect of it. Marketing is just what it is. You have to be in the right spot, right
Mm,
place. But if everybody that I need to talk to is in the same place, I can get everybody at once. So I'm
yeah.
excited about dropping a bomb on them, the technology senior bomb on them in April next year.
I love it. I love it. I agree with you. When we have to dream big, you have to change the world, and you have to have that vision of wanting to do it because it's very common sometimes we think small, but like, oh, I'm just gonna stay in my lane of just teaching in the classroom because I don't know if I can, level up and go to that next level. But teaching at an arena with thousands of people that will receive it and can take it back to their communities, I think that's awesome. And I love that uh, you know, even with like when I do the four human drives, I want them to dream again, connect again, learn again, challenge themselves. Because if we challenge ourselves, we get excited. I mean, we're born to challenge ourselves, not to sit and just wait for the last day to come. Because the average person in America watches 4 hours of TV, and that's like consuming other people's life. Create your
That's
your
right.
life magical. Like, learn the technologies, learn how to do the Gmail, order from the Instacart. That's everybody can learn. They can learn as long as they live. But if they
Mhm.
don't challenge themselves, like you said, to step, the journey of 1,000 miles is that first step.
That's
First
right.
step is learning Gmail, learning Instacart, learning WhatsApp, and then all of a sudden, you know what? I got them down. Let me learn some more. And you keep challenging our seniors to grow and learn. So what do you think, like, growing a business is not easy.
No.
It's hard work. And I believe what you said, like, when you find what you love, it's you just love what you do. It's not work. So tell our viewers, like, what's the day look like for Chet? Like, do you have a morning routine? Do you like the journal? How do you know go about the day?
Okay, a typical day. Let's see. So I don't teach every day. Um,
Mhm.
I teach about 3 days a week. But I get up. I have two teenage sons, 13 and 15, and so I get them up at 6 a.m. and we work out in the basement. Well, actually, where I am now,
Mhm.
we work out and then get them, make sure they get off to school, and then if I have an early class, uh, if I have a 9 o'clock class, hey, I leave home at 7:30, get there, teach the class, come home, maybe 2 o'clock, uh, eat some lunch, and then start working on my app, working on the content for my app.
Mhm.
Then uh, cook dinner for the family, pick the kids up from practice, and do it all over again.
Ooh, I
So
love
it's
it. What like tell me a little bit more about the journey with the app.
okay.
So you're now, you like continue to add training programs in the app? Like, do you have like an idea of, like, when it launches in January, what will they expect to see? Will there be 4 programs, a dozen programs? And then give us an idea where you are with the app in 26.
All right. So January 26th, there'll be about a dozen classes on there, and
Mm-hmm.
everything that, let me say, I would say the 12 core classes, because you have what I consider core classes, but it's all building blocks. And so I like to build a strong what I call we're building a digital house, a
Mm-hmm.
technology house. And so we have to have a strong foundation. And so the strong foundations are all those things, like the basics. Like we said, you have to have that Gmail, things like Google Meet, so uh, you can have video chats with loved ones, for even if they have no matter what device they have. um like you said, ordering groceries online, all of those things. So in January there'll be at least a dozen classes there available online, and then that's also when the live classes will start, and the office hours will start in January, and then
Mm-hmm.
from there we just keep adding every month until, and it's never going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be fluid, because even some of the classes that I teach, I may have to go back in and revamp those classes, just because things have changed in a year. I mean,
Yeah.
think about last year, where artificial intelligence was at last year this time, and where it is now.
Yeah.
Everything changes. It's changing so rapidly now. But for 26, the app will start with at least a dozen classes, and it's going to continue uh, with the office hours and the live classes, at least one live class per week.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah. I love teaching live because it just kind of, I do a lot of, like we're doing right here, but
Mhm.
there's something magical about the connection with people that you learn so much from the feedback of that live experience, because I think it shapes us in a creative way, because you're always getting feedback from the people you're serving, so
Mhm.
you're always improving in everything you do, because it's just I think it's magical to do that. So like, give us an idea of like, how can people get a hold of you, and what would be the best way to get on the waiting list or be able to access the app?
Okay, so right now, people can call me at the number on the screen, or you
Hmm.
can go to my website, or you can just Google this Bridging Technologies ATL,
Okay.
and then if they go on to my website, if they scroll down to the gallery, there's a QR code that says Talk Tech with Chet. If they scan that QR code, that will take
Hmm.
them to the free class, and then they can subscribe, and then they'll be on the emailing list, and then they'll get the free class, and they'll also get the updates on when the app is coming out.
Oh, that's so good. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with our community and with our seniors. So before we go, I want to ask you one more question. What would be the one thing that you would want our viewers to take home from our time on this podcast?
Well, the one thing is that you're never too old to learn. You'll
Mm.
never be as young as you are today, so go ahead and start today. Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
love it. Hey, I call them, I love calling like value bombs. That was just a value bomb. That was a wisdom bomb that you dropped on my community. And I want to thank you, Chet. Chet, it's always a pleasure. I love what you're doing. And I just applaud you for serving our seniors in such a unique way. Because when
thank you,
you're
Pete.
left out of the technology curve, the technology boom, it's no fun. You want to be participating as things change. And I can see you're allowing more seniors to be in the game as the world is changing in a rapid way. So thank you, Chet. Appreciate your time, and
Thank
thank
you,
you for
Pete.
being with us.
Thank you, Pete. Appreciate